Hello everyone. Welcome back to this channel. This time, we're going to discuss some leaks I've come across, which seem very exciting. And these leaks also come from a fairly credible source, HomDG-Cat. Alright, let's not waste any time and get right into it. So, the information we're going to discuss this time will be related to a new mechanic that appears in Beta 3.8. However, before we talk about the new mechanics, there's an interesting piece of information I've already found. This information comes from the Seal leak source. So, in the Beta 3.8 v2, we're getting a new quality of life update. Now we can quickly switch the Trailblazer's path directly from the formation interface. This means we no longer need to go into the character details menu just to change the Trailblazer's path. And if you're wondering about any changes to the Dahlia in Beta 3.8 v2, the answer is, of course, no changes. You can see that there's only one change, and it's merely a rewording of the Dahlia's skill description. So, there are absolutely no gameplay changes to the Dahlia's kit in Beta 3.8 v2. Alright, now let's move on to the main topic. According to the data mine from HomDG-Cat, in version 3.8, we will be getting a new DoT effect. And the name of this new DoT is glacial erosion. Just from its name alone, we can already clearly tell that the element of this new DoT is, of course, ice. And this is certainly very different from the ice element's weakness break effect, frozen, which only freezes enemies and delays their actions. And there's one interesting question that came to my mind: is glacial erosion categorized as a unique DoT, like those owned by Black Swan and Jiaoqiu? For comparison, we know that Black Swan has the Arcana effect, while Jiaoqiu has Ashen Roast. Although in the end both of these DoTs are still considered as Wind Shear and Burn, their DoTs are still classified as unique DoTs. What exactly is glacial erosion, and how does this ice DoT work? Glacial erosion is a DoT-type debuff based on the ice element. As its name suggests, this effect deals damage over time with ice element to enemies affected by the status. When affected by glacial erosion, the target takes ice DoT equal to a certain percentage of their max HP at the start of each turn. And this ice DoT can also be stacked, just like other DoTs. In other words, the mechanism of this ice DoT has quite a significant similarity to the bleed effect, which also deals damage over time, physical, based on a percentage of the enemy's HP. From here, we can conclude that glacial erosion can be considered as the ice version of the bleed effect, only with a different element, and possibly with additional interactions with certain statuses or conditions. This is certainly very interesting. Who would have thought that the ice element could also cause a DoT effect? Because right now, the main DoT effects in the game are divided into four major elements: physical, bleed, fire, burn, wind, wind shear, and lightning, shock. These four effects are the standard DoT types commonly found in characters with the Nihility path. And if you didn't know, there are actually other unique DoTs besides glacial erosion that also don't come from those four elements. However, those are currently only used by bosses. For example, the I-Core Memo Sprite boss from Evernight. This terrifying and ugly boss has the imaginary element and possesses an ability that can apply an effect called Hematort Corruption. Now, this Hematort Corruption effect is a unique debuff that causes the target to receive imaginary DMG at the start of each turn, so the mechanism is very similar to a DoT, only based on the imaginary element. We look at the mechanic of this boss. Actually, Hoyoverse could also create a new DoT character with the imaginary element. But for some reason, they still focus on the four main elements for DoTs. And with the appearance of the glacial erosion mechanic, does this indicate the arrival of a new Nihility character with the ice element in patch 4 later? If that's true, it would be very interesting. And even if not, it seems that this glacial erosion mechanic will only exist in the simulated universe or divergent universe. Although it's actually a bit of a shame if Hoyoverse doesn't use this mechanic for new DoT characters that may appear in the future. Alright, that's all for now, everyone. So what are your thoughts on this leak? Write your opinions in the comments section, and don't forget to share this information with your friends who also play Honkai starrail. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on other important update. See you in the next update.